Satnam. Hello, happy Saturday. Welcome to Kundalini Yoga with Kara Looney. Good to see some of you on already. Hello. Gorgeous day outside. And we have a really great class planned. We're going to be talking a little bit about surrender today. Surrender in the way that it is. Oh, hey, Tom Carlson, Satnam. Surrender in the way that it is, excuse me, part and parcel in relieving suffering, right? And exploring some of the ways that we mentally frame the topic of surrender. Hey, Paul Davies, good to see you. Right, oftentimes we think of surrender as resignation and raising the white flag and giving up and all of these things. And I think there's a lot of cultural, maybe warfare mindset around what it is to surrender, and moving beyond some of those limited constructs and stepping into the power and the empowerment and the sovereignty behind surrender. Hey, Howard Satnam, good to see you. So that's what we're going to be talking about today in class. We're going to be doing a really nice Kriya set, really energizing Kriya set, cleansing set. It is one that's going to help us balance out the low 3 chakras. I know, Howard, you'll find that helpful with what you've been working with lately. And really open the heart center, right? So to get into that space of surrender, we really need to move beyond any resistances that live in the low 3 centers, these survivalistic centers. Really draw that energy up into the heart where surrender exists and lives. I'm apologizing in advance. I'm going to be clearing my throat probably a lot today. I don't know what is going on with my allergies, or my dog for that matter, over there to my right. So good to see you guys. A couple administrative details, and one of which is a little different for today. We're going to be, any donations that are made to today's class are going to go to a specific fund today. So I'll detail that in a minute here. All our music I run through an app called Yogi Tunes. Hey, Dan, good to see you. And this makes use of all the musicians' music in a way that is not only beneficial to us, but also to them. We're here every Saturday practicing Kundalini Yoga together online with YouTube. It's a really fun way to make this accessible to more people, make it available to people who may not be financially in the place where they can actually pay for yoga classes. This is something where you can choose to donate or not to donate. You can also choose to subscribe to this channel, which is always a nice way to donate non-monetarily. So you practice here with me every Saturday for Kundalini Yoga. And then if you want to practice with me more often, you can come to my website, karalooney.com. And I have 4 live stream classes a week and a library of a ton of different videos. I teach both Vinyasa Flow on Sundays and Tuesday mornings. And then I teach a Kundalini class twice a week on Mondays and Thursday mornings. So Monday afternoons and Thursday mornings. So I'd love to have you join me. Classes are available for not only just individual drop-ins, but all different options for subscription, whether you want to practice with me once a week, twice, 3, 4 times a week. You have all those different options available to you. Just go to karalooney.com under the Yoga Club classes section. I also do corporate wellness too. If you're, want to get your company involved in providing yoga classes for your employees, you can always reach out to me or check out my corporate wellness section. Hey, Sunny, good to see you. Hey, Elizabeth, good to see you. Let's see, we're in the middle of our 40-day meditation journey focused on connecting to our true and authentic nature with the Mool Mantra. We're almost at our halfway point, which I cannot believe. Every single time we're getting there, and I'm like, oh my God, it's already halfway. Excuse me here, something. And our next 40-day meditation journey is going to be a little different. We're going to do, instead of focusing on a mantra, we're going to be focusing on different pranayama techniques. So it's going to be a breath work 40-day meditation journey, which is going to be really cool. That will be starting in mid-March, and I'll give more details about that as it draws a little bit closer. Now today, the thing that I think is really most important about today's class, aside from the work itself, is that any donation made to today's class will be going to a very special and unique purpose right now. I just donated this morning myself, and any donations that you make to class today will go to the Indian farmers right now. There was a bill passed in 2020 which combines some about 3 agricultural bills passed through Indian Parliament that exploit the Indian farmers and severely hurt their earnings, and also while benefiting large corporations, large corporate entities. So there's a lot of chaos going on right now with Indian farmers, and they need our support. So I donated this morning to Khalsa Aid International. They're supporting the farmers' protest in India, and if you would like to assist me in supporting these beautiful farmers, many of which are Sikhs, donate to today's class. You can donate to me through PayPal under caroluniyoga@gmail.com. You can also donate through Square Cash and Zelly. And I will be taking all the funds that are donated to today's class and sending them off to Khalsa Aid International. If you're interested in learning more about this yourself, you can go to khalsaaid.org. You can go to saveindianfarmers.org. You can go to unitedsikhs.org and learn a little bit more and donate yourself. Okay? So that's what all today's donations will be going to. And feel free to support me in supporting them. All right, guys. Speaker on. And today, again, we're going to be focusing on the beauty of surrender, kind of reframing our mindset around surrender. And that'll be that. And feel free to, during the course of class, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat field. And we'll have a little chat after class too. Okay? All right. Please find somewhere cozy to sit. Let's relax those shoulders down and away from the ears. Soften the nervous system up a little bit. Every once in a while, I feel like I'm forgetting to do something, and I'm feeling that right now, but I'm sure if I am, it will come to me sooner or later. Let's take 2 more breaths in through the nose. Let's sigh out through the mouth. This sigh breath is a wonderful, energetic expression of surrender, right? Of release, of allowing, of relaxing. Let's take 2 more just like this. Last time. All right, guys. Let's tune in. Let's throw the hands together, stimulating 72,000 energy channels. We call these nadis. This also helps charge up the heart, right? Hands and arms are an extension of the energy of the heart center. So we're kind of warming and charging up this energy field of the heart. We tune in with our sacred mantra, setting vibrational space, not only in the space that we are holding and sitting in, but the space within our body, the space within our minds, right? And cultivating more of it through vibration, through connection to our higher self. Let's bring the thumbs into the sternum. We tune in with the Adi mantra, Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. I bow to the divine teacher within. We chant that mantra 3 times through. And then we tune in with the Mangalacharan mantra, a mantra of protection, a mantra of surrender. I'd like you to tuck the tail down long. Extend the spine nice and long, shoulders down and away from the ears. Chin gently toward the chest. Eyes drawn up to third eye center. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose to begin. Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo. Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo. Guru Dev Namo. Arengre Name, Jugarengre Name, Satengre Name, Sri Gurudev Name. Arengre Name, Jugarengre Name, Satengre Name, Sri Gurudev Name. Arengre Name, Jugarengre Name, Satengre Name, Sri Gurudev Name. Take a full deep breath in through the nose. Suspend it, root lock third eye. And exhale, release. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. Happy Saturday. Just as a reminder, any donations made today will be going to Khalsa Aid International for assistance to the the Indian farmers in protest right now. So I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of class. Today, our topic is surrender and gratitude. When we get into surrender and finding that space of gratitude that allows us, right? They kind of hand off one to the other. And oftentimes the word surrender can be very triggering and anxiety evoking when you hear the word, oh, you just need to surrender into it. It's kind of the last thing you'd want to do sometimes. Energetically, it feels too allowing, too releasing, too out of control to surrender. It creates an association with ideas or sensations of a loss of control or quitting or resignation or succumbing, losing, and even victimhood. And these associations in many ways are born of like a cultural typecasting of the word surrender. We are the cultural typecasting of the word surrender is a byproduct of the mind and the ego of itself, in and of itself too. You know, these words and these associations are born of the part of ourselves that believes that we must constantly be in control. We must premeditate and vet our life circumstances and life circumstances even of those around us, right? Especially if we're like parents or in some sort of a leadership role, right? Control, premeditating, vetting, getting everything in just a way so we can do our best to predict the future outcome. The idea of surrender would seem almost ludicrous or foolish, right? To do that when your mind is so focused on control. When we can minimize our identification with the mind and the ego, that part of ourselves that thinks it's constantly in danger, that activated nervous system, and start identifying with the present moment and our awareness of the present moment, we tap into a vibrational frequency of higher order. We move from the energy of the mind, right? Which is constantly calculating, which creates suffering, separation, and is subject to the law of polarities, which dictates nothing can exist without its opposite, right? Into the energy of the spirit, into the energy of the heart, by surrendering hold of the mind and moving into the energy of the heart. When we surrender our position, our beliefs, our fears, control strategy, grasping, and resistance, we move beyond the limit and the polarity that is born of the mind. And we move into the higher energy and vibrational frequency of the spiritual energy of the heart. Unlike the mind energy, which is polarized, spiritual energy is a unified field and it does not generate its opposite. This is likely why you can't be in fear and in gratitude at the same time. You can't, it is said, and I find this to be true, and I'd be interested to hear those who have been able to find their way beyond this, but it's said that you cannot experience fear and gratitude at the same time. When you can allow yourself into the vibration of gratitude, you've risen above the vibration of fear, and you would have to just move back down to that vibration of fear to be able to exist, to be able to feel it. But then the experience of gratitude would be out of access. So when we can rise above fear into gratitude, we cannot experience fear at the same time. And I unconsciously even use my hands moving through the energy centers here. I'm seeing myself on the camera while I'm doing that. I'm like, how interesting. Because really fear lives down here. Gratitude lives up here. The spiritual energy does not pollute. It does not abuse. It does not destroy. It does not create suffering. It only affirms life, love, and prosperity. When we resonate in the vibration of spiritual energy of the heart, which manifests as gratitude, compassion, unconditional love, moving up into intuition, truth, and intimacy, we are easy to surrender. And in this context of spirit, surrender is not resignation. Surrender is not equal to resignation. Surrender is simply the release of resistance. Fundamentally, resistance is an unwillingness or refusal to accept the present moment as it is. When we reject the present moment, we believe our resistance to the present moment will somehow change it, meet our preferences and our expectations. We think that if we can be in resistance to the present moment, somehow we can impose control and change and force over it and make it change somehow. And this is why it creates suffering, because that need that we have doesn't actually ever become fulfilled. We can't change the present moment. The only thing we can do is surrender into the present moment, find acceptance. And acceptance, again, does not equal resignation. We can still be in acceptance and take action toward a desired change, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Sometimes we think when we go into surrender, there's a resignation. And when we go into a space of acceptance, it's almost like, well, okay, this is the burden I have to bear, falsely imprisoned, for example, that's what comes to mind. Acceptance of that is not giving in to that necessarily. Acceptance of that is is being in the reality of what it is. And you can still take action toward changing that set of experiences without resigning to it. Oftentimes we think that our attempts or coercion or force can change the reality. And this, again, it causes suffering. It's the act of surrender that brings us out of that experience of suffering. And this is ultimately insanity, right? When we're trying to change the present moment from what it really is into something else that's fantasy, that creates suffering. This insanity is what creates our suffering, and likely the suffering of those who are in contact with us, right? We can both surrender to the present moment and enact positive change. Therefore, surrender is not equal to resignation. Rather, it is equal to evolution. It's equal to evolution. The process of nature is the best example of this. Plant growing, right? That's never fighting or denying the fact that it's got to break through the surface of the earth. It's just finding the path of least resistance to get up through the earth. Water moving, right? It comes across rocks or boulders. It moves around it. It moves above it, moves under it maybe. Seasons changing. right? That happens effortlessly, although it maybe provides some of us a little bit of suffering, depending on where you live. This is all examples of non-resistance, but also progress. How do we shift from the lower frequency of the mind energy and begin to resonate at the higher vibration of spiritual energy of the heart? Starting with surrender, right? Be aware. If you are suffering, you are likely in resistance to something. Recognize what that is, and that's where the work begins. By acknowledging our resistance, it disarms it, and we begin to surrender. Surrender then brings us to acceptance. Beyond our resistance, this is where progress and positive action can begin. And just like surrender, acceptance is not resignation, as I mentioned. Acceptance is acknowledgement of the reality. Acceptance does not prevent us from taking steps toward forward evolution. Acceptance then brings us to peace, where we can tap into the experience of gratitude, which raises a vibrational frequency from the survivalistic to a state of spiritual connection and expansion. In the state, we have a stronger vibrational frequency, a stronger magnetic field, and our field becomes unified, enabling us to magnetize more of the same to us, creating prosperity, which promotes abundance, sustainability, health, and balance. So today's set, we're going to be working on a set that balances the lower three chakras, strengthens that navel point, right? This is our where all of our energy starts, that transmits through all our 72,000 energy channels. It all begins here at the navel point. And we're going to balance out, create stability in the first three chakras to remove any imbalances or blockages that prevent the energy from moving up to the heart, which can bring us into the state of gratitude and the ability to surrender. Okay. And ultimately, the set is intended to bring us a sense of stability and promotes a stable base in the lower triangle. Okay. So let's start with our Sufi circles to warm up the spine. Hands are on the shins. Shoulders down away from the ears. Eyes are drawn up to third eye center. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Soothing your way in here. Right? This is our first exercise in Kundalini Yoga that we practice, and it's intended in many ways to ground our lowest energy center. Start with stabilizing that lowest energy center. Release tension in the muscles of the hips and the back. Open up access to that parasympathetic nervous system. Change the wave patterns of the brain, making them longer and more even, more balanced, less fragmented. Let's go for 4 more in this direction. Inhale, hold center. And let's reverse the direction. Eyes are up at third eye. We're breathing in. Maybe widening those circles a little bit. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold the center. Spinal flex. Inhale forward, exhale back. Opening through the chest and the shoulders. It starts to create space around the spinal column, making not only freedom in those joints of the spine, but also allowing freedom of energy movement in the spine. This is that central channel of energy that allows that evolutionary Kundalini energy to rise up the central channel of the spine. Articulate those spinal flexes a little bit more for the last 4, 3, 2, 1. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Hands come onto shoulders. Inhale, twist left. Exhale, twist right. Again, eyes at third eye center. Think of yourself as now starting to charge that electromagnetic field around the body. Drawing the energy up into the heart, charging that unified field of the heart, and expanding it out into the field around the body. Let's empower this process by taking the hands off the shoulders, Gyan Mudra, index finger and thumb. Now let's reach those arms up to the sky, 60 degrees. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, inhale. Suspend the breath. And let's sweep through the energy field. Inhale, exhale. Nice long reach and sweep. Feeling the side body open up. Lateral flexion through the spine. Inhale, reach arms high. Exhale, come onto tabletop. Let's go into little cat-cow. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Starting with the neutral spine. And then lift chin and tail, arch it. Exhale, round and tuck. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and inhale, chin and tail. Exhale, round and tuck. Knees come out wide. Sitting the hips back to the heels, forward to the ground. And in this kind of restorative posture, shed a little reflection on where you might be in resistance to the reality of this particular thing, person, place, or thing, perhaps. Recognize that as resistance. See if maybe you can let go of that resistance and get into a place of allowing. It could be anything. See how maybe that evolution lightens the load in some way. Let's rise up and start our Kriya set. So we're going to come to a nice seated position. Arms are extended right out in front of you. And I'd like you to flex through the feet. See how my spine is nice and long. Shoulders are back and away. My arms reach forward with the thumbs to the sky. Okay? Kind of in a nice angular position here. I'm going to inhale forward, exhale back. Keep those legs nice and active, right? If the hamstrings are feeling a little challenged, feel free to bend the knees. Okay, not a big deal. Eyes at third eye center. Just doing a little bit of work in the kidney. Lower triangle. The majority of these first parts of the set. Do your best not to just go through the motions, but be aware of where this may be impacting or improving some sort of imbalance in the body. Throw your intuition into the mix here, your insight, your sensitivity. You give it as a house cleaning exercise, right? The inner house, your inner temple. Let's go for a minute more, just like this. Working that life nerve, running up the back of the leg. Stay energized, stay committed, stay in connection with that chronic life force, charging in it. Let's go for 10 more. 9, 8, 7, keep that breath going. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, suspend, lift high through the crown of the head, extend through hands and feet. Feel the heartbeat. Be a container for the breath, not anxious, but neutral. And exhale, laying down onto the back. Let those legs extend out for a moment. Give it a little shake. Allow yourself just for a brief moment to completely relax, completely disengage. In doing this, we, in Kundalini Yoga in general, we go through action, rest, we're re-educating the nervous system on how to go from that active state to the completely resting experience. This helps re-educate the nervous system on how to go from fight or flight into rest and digest, parasympathetic. Many of us are chronically stuck in fight or flight and addicted to those hormones that condition produces. It's a re-education process, right? Just through being still and resting. Now let's walk those heels in toward the glutes. Turn the tail down, palms down. We're going to raise and lift into bridge pose. If you have the gifted length of limbs to grab onto the ankles themselves, please do so. Otherwise, palms are down on the ground. This is going to be a nice energetic lift and lower. So we lift up, really lift the hips to the sky, chins to the chest. Exhale on the down. Here we go. Engaging back body. Eyes are at third eye center. Ever focusing that direction of the flow of energy outward. Seeing if you can embody the full expression of the pose to your unique capability each time you lift. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, keep breathing, 7, last 3, 2, now hold up, lift high on the 1, suspend the breath, relock third eye. And exhale, articulate the spine down from the shoulders to the tail. Knees into the chest. Wrap those forearms around the shins. Tuck the nose to the knee. Long, deep breathing. Now you may have a tender neck, but if that's the case, feel free to slide a pillow under the head, hand under the head, or just let the head recline down. It's your call. We're in a nice tight little ball, and I would really like you to let your ribs expand and your side body expand as you breathe in this tight little ball. As you inhale, feel like kind of a seed bursting out of its shell. Expanding its energetic boundaries. Getting that really powerful feeling of expansion on the inhale. Charges the field around the body. Keeping with that visualization of the seed. Last 2 breaths. Last time, inhale, suspend. Charge that field. Feel that expansion through every part of your body. And exhale. It's kind of a nice feeling, right? Hands come under the shins or under the hinges of the knees. Gently just start rocking yourself up and down the length of the spine. Keeping a nice rounded C curve. And then after about a few more, we're going to rise up to the top, cross over the shins, and come onto a tabletop position. Let's go for 4, 3, 2. Rock it up, cross over the shins, and pop it over. Okay. Now, tabletop. We're going to come into nice cat-cows. So here's what's really interesting about cat-cows. We do them so often that we start to become a little immune to them, right? I want you to really feel as if you're exploring every aspect of this posture, this moving posture. Spread the fingers wide, eyes of the elbows turn forward, shoulders plug back and away. Let's inhale, chin and tail, eyes up at third eye center. Exhale, draw navel in, round through the back. We're distributing pranic life force energy through the whole body, charging every cell, Distributing cerebrospinal fluid through that central channel this time. Feeling rhythmic with this. Let's keep going. Feel exaggerated in the expression, very dramatic. As long as it still feels good in the body. Let's go for 30 more seconds. Keep moving. Keep those eyes at third eye, stimulating glands in high brain, midbrain. That's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, chin and tail high, suspend. Relax third eye. Hold it out. Go back to yourself for a moment. Okay. The fun is just beginning. Eyes to the elbows, turn forward, shoulders flip back and away. I'm going to take my right leg, extend it out, give it a good stretch to the back of the room, engage. Glutes, feel the navel pulling in. So just drop it down and do the other legs, kind of like a primer for the next exercise. Alright. Now if you've ever practiced martial arts, karate specifically I suppose, there's an accustomed awareness toward how to flick one's limbs while still maintaining power. It's kind of what I want you to tap into. Kind of like a roundhouse kick. We're bringing it in and then snapping it out. By snap, I do not want you to over-articulate in the joint in any way. There's kind of a flicking action, okay? Bring the heel into the butt. And go at the pace that works for you. Keep that navel engaged so you're not bucking through the low back. Okay? It's good for the hamstrings. Good for the reaction of the short, fast twitch muscles. Also good for the life nerve. Alright. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it. Round it back. Do the same thing on the side. Alright, one foot's always going to be better than the other. Maybe this is your better one, maybe not. It's all good. Here we go. Flick it. There's an engagement in the whole leg itself, but there's freedom in the joint. Maybe you can kick your own butt. That's cool. Keep breathing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Sit back. It's a good one, right? Gets blood flowing. We tend to spend a lot of our time sitting on that part of the body. It's very enlivening. As you can imagine, that has a powerful effect on the energy centers of the low body, clearing up stagnancies. And this next set will do the same. Okay, let's rise up. Now we're going to come into our own versions of Malasana. Okay, Malasana is kind of like a squatting crow pose. So not everybody can come, bring your feet down and sit with the hips low below the knees. And that's okay, right? Maybe it takes a little flirting with, for me, like it does. You have to rock from side to side. If this is outside of your wheelhouse, just come into a higher squat where the hips are above the knees. Okay? Interlacing the hands. I'm going to chant HUD, H-A-R. Pump that belly. HUD, 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 HUD. Eyes are closed if your balance allows. Here we go. HUD, 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 HUD. Project that sound. We're clearing blocks. We're moving energy. HUD, 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 HUD. Notice where you're in resistance. There might be a lot of it. Try your best. HUD, 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 HUD. Minute left. Stay with me. HUD, 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 HUD. Last 30 seconds. Stay in it, guys. HUD, 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 HUD. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale. Suspend. Root lock. Third eye. And exhale. Now gently. Find your way out of this position. Maybe extend the legs. Heel toe the feet out a little bit. Come into a forward fold. Shake the head out. Maybe walk over to one side. Reach up through the left arm. And switch. Twist. Release that little back. And come back down. All right. Good news is, it's all downhill from here. So please, coming down, seated cross-legged position. We're going to take a very powerful mudra, which is called Kunchan Mudra. It's very powerful, very purifying. It enables total relaxation. And try your best to keep a nice posture with this, okay? I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to have Gyan Mudra. And I'm going to flip my palm to the sky. My elbow's kind of right in front of my chest. The palm is turned up, the wrist is flexed. And that tip of the index finger and thumb is right above the ear. The left hand is in front of the chest, palm facing down, also in Gyan Mudra. Okay, so there's a flexing of the wrist. Eyes are drawn up to third eye center. We begin chanting. Waheguru, 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 Waheguru. Getting a strong root lock. Okay, here we go. Waheguru. Suspend the breath, relax third eye. Keep that posture again, inhale. Suspend, lock third eye, the belly. Retain Be on the red rest for please. Rest and awareness, neutral awareness of yourself. Gaining an understanding of your state of being. How do you feel in the skin? How do you feel in the body temple? Connected, more whole. Heightened awareness. Less tension, less friction, less resistance. More willingness, heightened ability for surrender. A resonance in the heart and the mind together. Effervescence in the energy field, perhaps. When you're ready, please come laying down onto the mat. While you're on your back, feet and thighs turn out naturally. Palms face up next to the hips. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Take a full breath in through the nose. Sigh it out. Softening the jaw. Letting the tongue in your mouth rest. Ears relax back. Eyes sink back. Have a gentle awareness of the crown of your head. Gently wiggling your fingers and your toes. Draw your knees into your chest. Wrap your forearms around your shins and rock from side to side. And roll onto one side into fetal position. And while you're down there, release your legs and just lay there on your side. Take a full breath in through the nose. And with a willingness towards surrender, sigh it out through the mouth. Using the top hand to press yourself up seated. Cross-leg position. And we have our mantra of the week. Yay! This week, and if you ever want to get notified of the mantra of the week, it's just a matter of getting on my email list. If you're not on my email list, you can go on to caralooney.com and go to my contact section, which I think is on the home page, or get on the mailing list, which is on the home page. You could either contact me and give me your email address, or just directly sign up for the mailing list. And you get my notifications of the weekly mantra, the weekly schedule, and any cool upcoming new things. So today we got the Laya Yoga mantra. We use a mantra that's also similar to the morning call, or long Ek Onkars. The mantra is Ek Onkar Satnam Sri Wahe Guru. But in this particular use of this mantra, we imply an upward inflection at the end of every line in order to move the energy up, right? Ek Onkar Satnam Sri Wahe Guru. Okay, so there's a engaging of the root lock and a lifting of the diaphragm. Okay, and what this is doing is it's promoting the upward movement of energy. As the eyes are drawn up to third eye center, there's a constant flow of energy moving upward. Okay, this mantra focuses on overcoming adversity, increasing awareness, and it is also said, because the pulse of the mantra is a 3.5 cycle rhythm, it's similar to the way that the Kundalini energy coils its way up the central channel of the spine. It's 3.5 cycles of energy, it's said, as the Kundalini energy rises. It rises up in a spiral of 3.5 cycles. So this is the same cyclical rhythm as that of the vibration of the energy itself rising. So as you chant it, if you have the ability to envision the energy rising up the central channel of the spine in a 3.5 rhythm cycle, as you chant it, all the better. Nothing lost in not doing so, however. Stay Gyan Mudra. Eyes are drawn up to third eye center. And this is approximately an 11-minute mantra. So we have the freedom of 11 minutes. If you want to stick around with me, we'll chant this mantra in full. Okay? You can hear it. Satnam Sri Wahe Guru Ek Onkar Satnam Sri Wahe Guru. All right, here we go. Long spine, Gyan Mudra, eyes of the third eye center. Ek Onkar Satnam Sri Wahe Guru. 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 Ek Onkar Satnam Sri Satnam Sri Waheguru Ek Onkar 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 Satnam Satnam Siriwa Devu Ekonkar 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 Satnam Siriwa. Inhale. Suspend the breath, relax third eye. Feel the heartbeat, feel the pulse. Exhale. Again, inhale. Just sit in a gentle meditation for a few moments. Again, bearing witness to your experience, not judging it, just observing it. Feel the rhythm of the heart, the synchronicities in the body, everything in harmony and alignment. Acute awareness and complete relaxation. Let's bring the hands to the heart center. One round of the long-time sun. 3 beautiful rounds of the mantra Satnam, declaring truth is our identity. Closing out this class with a willingness towards surrender, a heightened awareness around the experience of surrender, and allowing, not a resignation, freedom, evolution, potential, all lives in surrender. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose to begin. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Suspend the breath, root lock, third eye. Bring folded hands to third eye center, blessing that you'll be guided by intuition and have the wisdom and courage to follow it. Exhale, bowing forward. Satnam, namaste. Thank you for joining me today, you guys. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the chat field or email me at karalooneyyoga@gmail.com. Just a little tie-up from what I was saying earlier before you sign off. Any donations to today's class will be going to the Khalsa Aid International Fund, supporting the farmers, the Indian farmers in their protest against the government, basically. There was a bill passed in 2020 that we're currently experiencing the aftermath from, which combines 3 agricultural bills that is kind of disservice to the Indian farmers. They're being exploited, their wages are being severely affected, all to the benefit of large corporate entities. So they're in protest right now, and they could use our support. So any donation that you make to today's class, be it through PayPal, Square Cash, or Zelle, all is going to go to the Khalsa Aid International, khalsaaid.org. You can also check out SaveIndianFarms.org and UnitedSikhs.org for a little bit more information on that. I'm sure there's another handful of entities where you can learn more and contribute. So if you go to PayPal under karalooneyyoga@gmail.com or Square Cash or Zelle today, all donations will be going to the khalsaaid.org, Khalsa International Fund. And if you catch this on video and you want to donate, just please in the comments section, make sure that you make note that you want it to go to the Indian farmers. Okay. All the music will run through Yogi Tunes. We're here every Saturday on YouTube for Kundalini Yoga. If you want to practice with me more than just Saturdays here, you can come to karalooney.com and go to my yoga club classes section. I offer 2 live flow classes a week, 2 live Kundalini classes a week, along with a library full of videos. And we have a really good community gathered. We stick around, we chat, we connect. There's a lot of beautiful spiritual intimacy in the groups, whether they be through the yoga club classes or through my 40-day meditation journeys. We're almost midway through our focus on the Mul Mantra. And in the middle of March, we're going to be focusing on a bunch of different pranayama techniques for our next 40-day meditation journey. And we'll have a beautiful book dedicated to learning a little bit more about that. Let's see, we got some messages. Hi, Sunny. Elizabeth, yes, you're welcome. I'm glad you were feeling that. I can tell with the big wow and all the emoticons. Thanks. Howard, thank you, Kara. Had effective energy movement to the higher chakras. My third eye is buzzing. Awesome. I'm so glad to hear it. Thank you guys for joining me today. And again, any and all donations going to the Indian farmers through the Khalsa International Fund. And thank you guys for joining me today. We will either see you tomorrow morning for Vinyasa Flow on Kundalini, on Yoga Club through karalooney.com, or we'll see you during the week. Okay? Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Please email me if you have any questions, karalooneyyoga@gmail.com. Thanks so much. Satnam. Bye-bye.